If there's one thing we know about the Beatles, it's that they never sat still musically. The cute and catchy hits like She Loves You eventually gave way to more complex, introspective work. 1965's Ticket to Ride is a perfect example of that shift. It's a driving rock song hinting at something a bit darker. They were growing up, and so was their music. John Lennon even declared it one of the earliest heavy metal records ever made, which, in retrospect, he's probably more right than he is wrong, in a lot of ways. Obviously more in terms of structure and feel than heavily distorted guitars and whatnot, but I can see where he's coming from. But let me know if you agree with him on that or not. Anyway, let's dissect this iconic track and explore why it was so groundbreaking. So think for a second about those early Beatles hits. They're short, sweet, and focused on love, usually, right? Well, now imagine Ticket to Ride. Immediately you notice it's a little heavier and more complex. On the surface it seems to be at least a little bit love song adjacent, at least lyrically. But is it maybe about something more? Discerning listeners began to pay attention to the lyrics of the Beatles more and more as they continued to add hidden meanings and wordplay to their songs. The curious phrase, Ticket to Ride, has a couple of possible origins. McCartney has said it refers to a British Railways ticket to the town of Ryde on the Isle of Wight, which he and Lennon had visited. But here's where things get interesting. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. That might be more than just leaving a lover. Lennon himself had supposedly remarked that it's a coded reference to their early days in Hamburg, Germany. Hamburg had a pretty gritty red light district, and there's a rumor that the sex workers had health checks and were given cards, like a ticket, if they were cleared to work. This puts a whole new spin on the lyrics, doesn't it? Musically, Ticket to Ride broke new ground for the Beatles in several ways when they recorded it on February 15, 1965 for the Help album and film. Instead of taping multiple live takes as usual, they built the song from the ground up, starting with drums and bass, then layering guitar overdubs, vocals, and percussion. And this modular approach became their new standard and allowed for greater sonic experimentation going forward. The song also features several firsts in terms of instrumentation. It's the first Beatles recording with McCartney on lead guitar playing an Epiphone Casino in the fade-out. Lennon likely played a Fender Stratocaster, and Harrison may have used a Rickenbacker 12-string. Ringo's syncopated drum part, as suggested by McCartney, is another distinctive element. The song's outro is also a notable aspect in itself. McCartney was especially proud of the double-time ending, the way it completely changes tempo and feel into almost a whole new song. It's basically a prototype of the wild jams the Beatles would become known for later on, like the end of Hey Jude, for example. And clocking in at a little over 3 minutes, it was also the Beatles' longest single to date. When Ticket to Ride hit the charts, it was like an atomic bomb going off in the music world. It was a smash hit everywhere, and critics were falling over themselves to praise it. Suddenly, everyone realized that the Beatles weren't just a flash in the pan. They were bona fide artists pushing the boundaries of what pop music could be. The song also played a key role in the Beatles' second feature film, Help, with the band memorably miming to it on the ski slopes in Austria. This sequence, shot in March 1965, functioned as an early music video and foreshadowed the MTV era. Ticket to Ride is one of those songs that alters the landscape. It opened doors not just for the Beatles, but for countless bands after them, and the influence of this song can still be heard today. You can hear its echoes in everything from folk rock to heavy metal to punk. So, was Ticket to Ride simply a song about a breakup or a glimpse into something deeper? You decide. Tell me what you think in the comments below. It's that enduring ability to spark debate and ignite our imaginations that makes it a true classic. And if you love this kind of musical analysis, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into classic songs. Thanks for watching.